recording so that we can. Okay. Now, we have heard about phonics. I want to take you to the first time you had a child. When your child came into the world, your child was an empty slate, so to say. Your child came very plain. You know, when you have an empty cup, it's just there, and whatever you put into the cup is what you get, right? Whatever you write, if you have a book and the book is plain, it's whatever you write in the book that you see. So imagine that a child comes into the world and the child wants to learn. The child wants to learn to speak English. If at age 7, that child cannot read, if at age 5, that child cannot speak proper English, what happened? Who is the cause of it? How did the child get to that point? Because the child didn't come to the world with English language. The child didn't come to the world with English language. The child didn't need any mastery or anything. He came to meet adults that were supposed to help him or help her learn. However you guide that child, whatever you put in is what you get. I'm sure you have heard garbage in, garbage out. Our own is not garbage, our own is value in, value out, all right? Yes, so it's whatever you put in that you get. It's very interesting. It's going to actually point back to you. What exactly are you putting into your child? What is the quality of the education that you are putting in? Do you know that you matter a lot in the society? You're complaining about the society, but the society is looking back at you because you have the future of the society in your home. Now, we're not going into, I know I'm an etiquette consultant, we're not going into manners and morals. We want to stay on phonics today. Okay, so I'll just bring my thoughts down to phonics. I'll explain what phonics really is, and then we go into what we have. We have a short time. 2 hours is very short for this kind of training. So I would go in right away. I need to share my screen. So please give me a moment to do that. I'll need the class to be very lively. So please, if you have a question, just type it in the chat box. If you have a comment, type it in the chat box. If I said something and it goes, type it in the chat box, all right? So that we can, interact freely. Can you see my screen? If you can see my screen, please type in the chat box. Say yes, yes, yes. Give me yes, give me yes. Yes, yes, I can see your screen. Okay, I'm getting some messages. Yes, yes. All right. You can see my screen. All right, I'll move on to, we actually have a lot, so much to learn. And I'm not going to give you everything I have because of time. So I'll just, cut it short so that you get as much as we can from it, okay? Ella said, yes, I can see your screen. Remy said, yes. Esther said, yes. Thank you very much for your feedback. So phonics is actually the relationship between sound and written symbols. Whether you're a teacher, whether you're a parent, there's no problem. I'm not using big language because I know that to explain to parents that are from different fields, we need to use the simplest language as possible. So there's no jargon. There's no phonics jargon here. I'm going to bring down every single thing I'm going to teach, right? Down to the ABC and down to the phonemic awareness and everything we need to learn. Phonics is the relationship between sounds and written symbols. Now, we know letters, A, B, C. The sound is A, B, K, right? Now, for those that do not really, like, it just came to me now that some people might not really know the sounds of A to Z. Do you think it's necessary I go over it? If it's necessary, please type it. If it's not, if everybody knows it, tell me so I can move on. Since we don't have much time, please let me know if you need that. If you need that information, should I give you the particular sound of A to Z, or I should assume? Assumption is not good, but should I assume that you know it, and then I move on to teaching what? Oh, she said I should go on. All right. Okay, I should teach it. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. So letter A sounds A. Now, for you actually need this information, and after now, if you need it as a recording, just send me a message on WhatsApp. Everybody has my WhatsApp number now because I communicated with you via WhatsApp, reminding you of this meeting. So if you need the voice recording of this, of what I want to give you now, please, you need the recording of what I want to give you now, please send me a message asking for the recording of the sounds of A to Z. Okay, so I'll start from letter A. Letter A sounds R. Do I need to write that? Well, let's just go ahead with that. I need to use the board as a point, but for now, letter A sounds R. It will be good if you try to make the sound so you know that you are getting it right. Letter B sounds B, not B. Some people say letter B sounds B, but when you do that, you're going to affect the pronunciation of the child. Because if you say the child should read B-A-G and the child goes B-A-G, bog, you see where the problem comes in. So letter B sounds B, 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 just the sound. Don't add any affix to it, right? B, B. Letter C sounds, the sound of C and K are similar, right? Are the same. Letter C sounds, letter D sounds D. Letter E sounds E. Letter F sounds, I can't see your mouth moving. Some people's videos are off already. Please, I want to see you. I know that you're really doing this. Okay? Letter, where did I start? Okay, letter E sounds E. Letter F sounds, letter G sounds G, G. Letter H sounds, letter I sounds E, E. Letter J sounds J, J. Not J, J, or J, J. Letter J sounds J, J. Letter K sounds, letter L sounds ooh, ooh. Letter M sounds Letter N sounds Letter O sounds O, O. Letter P sounds. Now don't say po, po. It's, there's a difference, right? There's a difference between po and is better because it's going to come up in the pronunciation. All right. Letter, where did I stop now? Letter P, right? Okay, letter Q. Aha. This particular sound, I need to make a mounting out of a molehill with this letter because of a particular parent here. She accosted a teacher in her child's school. The child's teacher was saying letter Q sounds what, what, and that's what the child knows, that letter Q sounds what, what. And she was trying to tell the teacher that no, that my child is not getting the sound right. Please, can you give me the sound? And it's the same thing. That that's how it is. What? Actually, most teachers do not get trained in this, so they just jump into teaching and they just expect that he's reading what's there, you know, and then they affect thousands and hundreds of children, which is not fair, not good. All right, so let's go back to letter Q sounds. It's as if you put the K and the W together. All right, avoid putting the UH, qua. No, letter Q sounds so that it's easy to say clean or whatever you want to say later. Okay, letter Q sounds. Letter R sounds R, R. Letter S sounds S. Letter T sounds T, T. Letter U sounds O, O. Letter V sounds V, V. Letter W sounds W, W. Letter X sounds X, X. As if it's the K and the S, right? X, X. Letter Y sounds E, E. And letter Z sounds Z, Z. All right. Who followed? Who followed? Please type in the chat box if you followed through and you got everything or you now know everything. Please let me know. Let me know. I like interaction. Let me know. And then I'll explain what we just did now. I'll explain what we just did now as I explain what phonics is. We said phonics is the relationship between sounds and written symbols, right? Now, if you have letter A, that is the letter, okay? Whether it's capital letter or small letter, that's the letter. But if you give the sound A, then this is the sound, right? So if a child looks at the letter and is able to say the sound, the child is phonetically inclined. That's phonics is relationship between sound and written symbols. If I have EE together, now I have this tool I'm going to be using to teach. It's called the Foundational Skill Set for Kids, all right? It's actually my product, which you would really love. Foundational Skill Set for Kids. I'll be using it for explanations. Now, if I have, if a child is able to see this, can you see this clearly? This is TH, right? If a child can see TH and the child can say that this is, then the child actually knows the phonics behind that, all right? I just want to break it down to let you know what phonics really is, the relationship between sounds and written symbols. We'll talk about that more as we move on. So we are saying that systematic and explicit phonics instruction, which is research-based, is essential to lay a very solid foundation for good readers. There are different types of phonics. Some you just sit down and coin it your own way, right? So that could be a type of phonics. But this is one type of phonics that you should be doing. The research-based phonics, the phonics that already has evidence that this works. Before, many years ago, thousands of years ago, we had the reading words, that's fighting words. It was because people fought to retain that old way of teaching, where you teach a child to cram all the words and then they don't have any relationship with sound. They're not weaned to know sounds. They are not shown the way of sounds. So there was a fight, there was a war, there was a battle. That the way of sounds is actually better, right? Because we have, it's really simple, it's systematic. It's like you know the formula and then you can go ahead with it. Do you understand? So for those that really love math, I don't like math, but I got by with it anyway. So for those that really understand what a formula is, when you know the formula, you know how to get your results. So this is what we have for phonics. I'm spending so much time there. I'm so sorry. Let's move on. The best phonics lessons are the ones you fully prepare for. Even as a parent, you need to prepare for your phonics classes. Yes. It's not just teachers that should prepare. If you're a teacher here, please type teacher. If you're a parent, type parent. Let's see who we have here more. Do we have more parents? Do we have more teachers? Let us know, please. Let us know. Let's know if we have more parents or more teachers here. The best phonics lessons are the ones that you prepare for. I'm going to show you different ways to prepare, okay? I just want to capture this. Okay. Oh, we have parents here. Parents, Parents. Oh, the parents are winning. Awesome. Parents are winning. Where are the teachers? Okay, that's good. So we have more parents here for now. Awesome. We'll move on. I'm saying that the best phonics lessons that you have are the ones that you prepare for. Adequate preparation makes every second, every minute, every hour productive and directed towards achieving what you really, really want. I would explain, you would understand that as we move on, because I have a lot of ideas to help you prepare. Don't let anybody tell you that phonics is hard. Some teachers have tried to push that to children, to parents, that phonics is hard stuff. It's not. It's very, very simple. And all children love phonics. All children love phonics. If you see a child that doesn't love phonics, it means that the teacher has not incorporated games, songs, and physical activities to teach phonics. So it has not been fun. That's why they don't love it. But for children to love anything, it actually has to be presented as fun. And that's one secret you're going to be learning today, how children learn. Many parents have not really considered how children learn. But that's going to be a great disadvantage if you don't know how children learn. Because come to think of it, you have a child and you don't know how he learns. So how will the child learn so much from you anyway? What are you going to pass to the child? It's not just by shouting or by, it's good to give instructions, but it's good for you to be schooled, to be knowledgeable, to be aware of how the science behind the learning of a child, so that you know what you're doing as a parent. Parenting is serious business. Whether it's spiritual, whether it's emotional, where anything you are passing on to your child, parenting is serious business. So, as a master of your arts, as a gracious parent, you need to know all that you need for your journey, all that you need to battle well, all that you need to teach well. And one thing that you need for this is to know how children learn. Now, we're going to go through different ways. We're going to look at how the brain functions. All right. Remember, when I don't know if you saw the particular ads that we put out, and in that ads, we're talking about the different things we'll be teaching this morning. And one of it is how to engage your children. How to engage your children is tied to how children learn. Okay, I've not really gotten to that part of the slide, but I am really, really concerned about the time. So I'll just move on to talk about it now. Okay, my next slide says phonics and fun is a natural response from their nature. About 75% of the brain occurs after birth, and play helps that process of development by stimulating the brain through forming connections between nerve cells. Now, the brain is made up of nerve cells. Nerve cells. If you have ever seen the picture of a brain, you see some like wires going round and round and round, right? Okay, so those are nerve cells. The more you can form connections with them, the better output you're going to have in whatever you want to do. Right? Can you hear me clearly? I can get an echo. I hope it's not clear. All right. If you can hear me clearly, you are on with me. Please say yes, yes. Type in the chat box. Yes, yes. Okay, we'll move on. While I wait for your yes. Okay, thank you very much. Yes, thank you, thank you. Now, I was talking about the brain. The brain has different filters. What do we filter at home? Parents, let's say we have flour, right? Plantain flour, and we want to filter. Thank you, thank you. Your yes is strong. Thank you very much. It's a lively class. Yeah. All right. We have filter. If you have a sieve, right? Like a filter, and you put the flour, when you filter, it depends on how the filter is before you get the finest substance from it. If the filter holes are big, you're going to get more than the finest grains. Then you might need to filter that again. Are you with me? I'm trying to pass something across. Now, the brain is made up of different filters. All right? The brain is made up of different filters. When the brain comes in contact, now I'm talking about a child's brain now. It's still going to apply to adults, but I'll be talking about the child's brain, basically. The first filter is the amygdala. I'm sorry, I didn't type this in my on my slide, so you might not, but I can spell it out. Okay, it's all here. Amygdala, amygdala, amygdala. That's the first filter in your child's brain. It's connected to emotions. Somebody say emotions. Somebody type emotions. Somebody type emotions. I'm not seeing the charts. I'm not seeing the charts. Type emotions. If I have something I want to teach my child, I need to look for how to connect to my child's emotions. I need to look for how to make him excited about what he wants to learn. That is a science of learning. That data, what I'm trying to pass across, if it is pleasurized, if it is high in pleasure, if I'm bringing it in such a way that he's thrilled and his eyes are opening like, if I can hit the note of pleasure when I'm teaching him, then I have his attention. That first filter is successfully crossed. Are you with me? I can cross that filter by appealing to his emotions. Now, when a child is sad, when a child is bored, when a child is not high emotionally, or is just there, indifferent, this teacher is coming again, let's just learn and go. That child is not in a state of learning, and what he's learning at that time he might not remember it so much. Are you with me? Yes, this is weighty. It's weighty and it's very useful for you. Target the emotions of your child to be pleasure, high joy. So how do you do that? By different activities. Children love songs. Children love songs. So if you're teaching something and you feel that you have a song around it, it's fine. Although we're going to talk about the different types of learners, the different styles of teaching. But for now, just know that if it's an excited song, you might go through the first filter to teach, to get past that amygdala. All right, the amygdala is now connected to RAS, a switchboard. Now, I said I will not give too much jargon, but these words are important for you to understand. If you do not understand, please type. Let me know. I will break it down. If you have any question, that's why we're here. We want to get as much as we can from these 2 hours that we have. We already have 40 minutes gone. So please, if you have any question, I don't want to speak over your heads. Just type it. I have some messages. Let me see that. If you have any question. Okay. All right, ma'am. Thank you very much for coming. It's okay. Yes. Yes, yes. I'll share the recording with you. Awesome. Yes, I need to connect to my child's emotions. Bisola is saying that. Awesome. Emotions. Thank you. Just going through the chats. Yes, I'll move on. Now, I was talking about emotions. So thank God you already understand it. The first filter you pass through is the amygdala, and it's connected to your emotions, your child's emotions. So next time you want to teach your child, remember that. All right, remember that when the lecture or the class is too boring, you're not getting through that first filter. You have lost the attention of your child. Children do not have long attention span. So those first few minutes, if you can grab it with, something really catchy, something good, then you get past that first stage. And the next stop is the limbic system, LIMBIC. L-I-M-B-I-C, the limbic system. Now, in that limbic system, it connects. The first thing I said now is emotions and information will give you learning. That's teaching your child. Targeting is emotions, okay? Now we're going to the next filter. The next filter is in another system. This second system is the limbic system. And the filter here is connected to your thinking, all right? The thinking and non-thinking part. There's a part of the brain that thinks, there's a part of the brain that doesn't really think. So you want to get through to that deepest part. We call this dopamine, D-O-P-A-M-I-N-E. Dopamine is like a chemical that is released when there is much pleasure. So your assignment is to release dopamine through pleasure, through engagements. Your children need to be engaged. If a topic is very boring, they bring up a particular response called flight. They run away. They might not run away physically, but their mind, they just shut you out, okay? So do not get your lessons boring. Do not get your lessons monotonous, so to say. You have to spice it up here and there. Okay, I think I'll visit this again so that I don't stay here too much, but I'm sure you have gotten one or two things from this session. If we have much time, I'll visit this topic again before we move on. I want to go through my slides so I know that I'm hitting what I really want us to get. Okay. All right. So we are moving on to the next part of the slides. We said that the natural response of your child is fun. Don't beat them for playing too much. Rather, direct the play to become productive, to be productive. Okay. The essentials for the teaching of phonics. It's important to note that phonics requires a lot of attention. You don't just come to class and like, okay, what am I teaching today? The sound eh. Eh. Bed, bread, led, fed. Okay, children, our sound today is eh. No, you won't get much from it. You won't get much from it. I'm going to show you how to prepare for your class. You need a lot of things to prepare for a phonics class. Now, as a parent, of course, you have those materials at home. It's not like you're going to, buy. If you do not have cardboard paper, you might need to get a few. You don't have tissue rolls. You know that part of tissue, the brown part, is very useful for children. Don't just throw them all away. Next time you want to throw them away, keep that part. Keep that part because it's useful. You can make it colored and all that, so much that you would see as we move on. But let me attend to a part of my slides before we go ahead to the other part. Are you with me? Are you learning? Please let me know. Yes, thank you. Mrs. Dawn says, target my child's attention. Yes, yes, you're following. I need to know that you're following. If you have a question, please ask, okay? Phonics requires a lot of attention. A whole week can be used to teach just one simple topic. Just one simple topic. Oh, okay, all right. Sorry, somebody is trying to ask if I would be giving a recording. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Now, sorry, who is that? Please, could you mute yourself, Mrs. Okpayemi? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. The essentials for the teaching of phonics. We're not dwelling too much on this. We're just going to run through. I said the learning sequence of phonics demands that we have time for phonemic awareness. Yes, this is phonemic, not phonemics. Phonemic awareness. All right? Phonemic awareness means, when a child is singing and doing rhymes. What rhyme can I play? The snake is in the grass. The snake is in the grass. The snake is in the grass. That's a rhyme aimed at teaching sound, aimed at teaching the sound of the letter S. That's phonemic awareness. And if you come to your class and the first thing you do is to sing with your children, don't you think you're going to get to that dopamine, to release that chemical called dopamine in them, and then to target their emotions? So when you come full of joy, now remember that sometimes we have things bothering us and our children want to learn and we're like, oh, please, later. Not knowing that if just a few minutes, just 15 minutes a day would do great wonders for your child. All right, we'll come back to that. But I'm talking about the teaching sequence to help you target your pleasure zone, the dopamine level, right? So phonemic awareness warm-up should be a beautiful start for your class. It's not a fixed routine. You can change it. You can, swap it from time to time. But this is a beautiful global standard phonics class, right? Phonemic awareness warm-up starts the class. That is getting songs, rhymes in line with sounds. It might not even be a particular sound you want to teach. A rhyme like the wheels on the bus go round and round. It's a rhyme. It's just beautiful to get them, it might not be related to that sound you want to teach that day, but it might be necessary to warm up the class. It also depends on the age of the children, all right? So you get songs, specific songs for specific age groups. We said warm up the time for reading. Now, most times in Nigeria, we don't have time to read with our children. We don't. As parents, we don't. As teachers, we don't. The teachers are concerned about curriculum. I have to finish what I have in the curriculum. So they don't engage with reading books. And it's not good. It's not good. You're cheating your child. You're cheating your child of that opportunity. You're cheating your child of that opportunity to gain. There is so much that your child can gain from reading. There's so much your child can get through reading. Apart from listening to you, hearing the rhythm of the words and how, the words go up and down the tone, is speaking how you form your sentences, it's speaking your vocabulary, it's speaking how, when you're reading and there's a comma, you pause, when there's a full stop, you stop and all that. So later when you're teaching him punctuation, it's not out of the blue, it's not out of the ordinary. It's not like it's so strange. He has related with it through your reading. Aside that, reading is a great tool for exposure. You want to expose your child to different things, to think beyond his level. It's reading. You want to get your child really virtuous. There are some virtues you want to pass across to your child and you really don't know how to do that. Get good books on those areas. It will shock you what you can achieve with your child through reading. So many benefits, although now we're talking about phonics, but I'd like to let you know, since we all have parents here that have children, if you're not a parent yet, you're still going to be a parent and you're going to have children. A lot of children are already connected to you. So I just want to say, I have a children's club, the Bible Manners and Worship Children's Club. We meet once every month online. So the last time that we met, we actually started a book review. We read a book together and they answered questions and all that. But before then, I was telling them about leadership and we talked about Miles Monroe. I know most of us have heard of Miles Monroe, but I don't think you know about his childhood. I don't think you're aware of his childhood. Let me tell you a bit in 2 or 3 minutes. They were so poor. P-O-O-R. They were so poor. Feeding was a problem. Sleeping was a problem. There was, he said that he had sisters, he had brothers, that he himself didn't have a mattress to sleep on. Actually, their house was set on 4 big rocks. Do you know what that means? It's set on like plank, right? The house was small. He was always sleeping on the floor. He said he was beaten by cockroaches and rats. Real life story, not fairy tale. Real life. But right now, we all know Miles Monroe, although he's no more. But we have his legacy. We have his videos. We have so much that he has left behind. And even after he's gone, years after, videos that he had preached, that he had ministered in different places, they are still coming out. He has advised presidents of nations. How did he get there? He shared it with us. He said self-education through reading. He doesn't joke with reading. If you are here and you don't have a library for your child, you don't have a personal library for your child, and you don't have up to 20 books in your library for your child, please, after now, you need to get back to me with a follow-up, showing me what you have done in that regard. Your children need books. They need to read and read and read. And the earlier you start reading with them, the better it gets, because when they grow up, you're not going to be forcing them to read. They'll just love it. They just love reading. And if a child loves reading and is reading the good stuff, then you're a blessed parent, because you can pass on. If there's something you want him to learn, you don't really know how to pass it, you get a book around that and get him to read it. But if you do not culture, if you do not groom your child without reading culture, your child sees reading as boring, like, oh, reading again. He sees it as punishment, you know, and it's not punishment. Reading is not punishment. Okay, so sorry, I was really passionate about that because I understand the pros and cons of that. So let's move on. I said the teaching sequence. We have phonemic awareness warm-up, right? That's the reading and all that. Time for reading. We need to read. So if I had a particular sound, remember I was talking about preparing for your phonics class. I homeschool my children for now. I'm not going to continue in that line because there's so much to do, you know, but I proposed in my heart that I and my husband, we proposed that we're going to homeschool our children for the first 5 years. So now my first child, Dawn, is already 5 and is going to resume in September in a particular school. And the other one is about 2 now, is still going to be with us till 5, by God's grace, and for us to pass that on. When we have a particular sound, what I do is to schedule a sound for the week. So phonics is not about rushing. My child needs to start reading now. No. If you are just starting, you need to, or if your child has reading struggles, you need to go back to the basics. Remember what we did when we started this class? The A, B, D, E. You need to go back there and get your child saying those sounds over and over again before you move on to blending. Now, if you choose a particular sound for the week, you should get a story or a poem or some, you can even form your story and make sure you include words that have that sound. Are you with me? You make sure you include words that have that sound so that, you know, like a preparation for the main class. So after your time for reading, you have time for word work, like dictation. Dictation is a very good word work with your child. Dictation doesn't have to wait till your child is 7 or 10 that he can spell. But child is the one that is 5 now. Before he clocked 4, I would give him words that he could spell. Even a child, one of the children that I'm taking personally, she was already having reading struggles she's not up to 3 yet. You know, that's what happens in some schools. Some schools just get children to start cramming and cramming. Phonics is the answer, not cramming. Of course, there are some words that they are going to cram, like sight words. Children have to cram sight words, right? But you need to lay the foundation for phonics first, so that when they get used to sight words, they are safe. And I'm going to show you an easy way to teach sight words, because my child is not 3 yet. My last child is not 3 yet, and he knows more than 300 sight words. He can pronounce number, follow, the, and, whatever, amongst us. how I did it. Okay. Okay, please. So, Ayomide, please. No. Thank you very much. The echo is coming back. Please yourself. So you're going to ask, how am I going to have time for all these things Wari is talking about? Am I going to have time for word work, for phonemic awareness, for this and that? Yes, you can. You don't have to take up the whole, it's about determination and knowing what to do. If you already have a calendar, so to say, like this is what I want to teach for this week, it's going to be easier. It's going to be easier. Even your child knows. You're going to tell your child, we're going to be treating the sound this week. Your child already knows that. So you go about doing different things. Now, to teach the sound, there are different ways you can do it. One of the tips I always give parents when I do consulting sessions with them is to put up ABC on the wall of the child's room. If you have a growing child, don't wait for the child to clock 3 first. Before my child gets to 1, I already have something on the wall that when the child, you know, I take the child there from time to time. You know, that's when they were still that age. So this is what I pass on to parents that register for my consulting sessions. I tell them, and I'm telling you now, get a cardboard, right? Get a piece of cardboard, cut it in small shapes like this. And please, this is very important. If you are here and your child is below 4, it means that you need this A to Z on the cardboard. You cut it out, and then put it on the wall. Make it colorful. You don't need to use just one color, all right? So for this one, I can make like 8 cards out of this if I cut this, right? Right? Okay. So if I cut this and I write letter A, letter B, letter C nicely on the cardboard, I have it on the wall. In the morning, not just A, if I have A to Z, I have 0 to 20. Don't give them too much at a time. All right. I have 0 to 20. I have 0 to 20. I have A to Z. Now, you should be mindful not to give just capital letters or small letters. Let me tell you a secret. This is one secret to help your child. This is one tip for your child. Introducing your child to capital and small letter at the same time. That is controversial because some people think that it's too much information for the child, that you should introduce the child to small letters first. And introduce the child to capital letters. But I tend to say that it is not as productive as showing. Please welcome. Welcome. Please mute yourself. Mute your audio. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Please mute yourself. Mute your audio. Mrs. Ayodeji. Can you hear me? Mute your audio, please. Thank you and welcome. Now, that I have witnessed what this error did in a few children around me. When my child was 4, or no, before my child was, so before when he was 3, there was a particular child that he was relating with. The child came to the house. I asked the child, can you give me the sound? I held up letter A. And he said, yes, that is letter A. I held up small letter A. He said, that is A. I said, okay. I brought up the capital A again. He said, that is A, that's not A. I said, okay. So I brought up the small letter A again. He said, this is A, this is not A. So when they introduce the children, they tell them they use the capital letters to teach them the letter names. Then they use the small letters to teach them sounds. I don't know, might be a nice idea for them, but it's not for me. And it's not for many professionals that know what they're doing in the phonics field. If you have capital A and small a together, if you have it together and you point at it to your child and say, this is A, together, this is A. Letter A sounds A. Then you go to B, capital B and small b together on the wall. Letter B sounds B. You go to letter C, capital C and small c together, and you say letter C sounds A. Don't you think it's better? Really, it is. You take the stress off your child. You take the stress of, trying to know what exactly, which one is this, which one is that. You take the stress of the letter name, letter sound. You just put them together because they are actually together. All right? So I'll move on. I just brought that in so you know it. That is a cause of delay in trying to blend, because you take a long time teaching the child capital letters first for about a month, and then you move on to the sounds. So when do you want to marry that? When do you want to say that the two sounds are the same? When you want to say that, they are together? That is taking much time, and we don't have that much time to waste in our children's lives. If your child is an early reader, you are setting your child up for success. The earlier your child reads, the better you are placing him in future. I know we want to give our children the best. Aim at having your child read early. That's a good gift for your child. That's a good gift for your child. And if your child already reads, that's fine. Make them read books. Introduce them to good books. You are setting your child up for great success that, you will be proud of much later. So I come back to our slides. I'm sorry, we're kind of slow, but I'm trying to take it step by step. We're already 1 hour off. It's fine. Let's do as much as we can in the short time that we have. I said all these activities are consuming. When we tempted to skip 1 or 2 steps in the process, as teachers, we have a curriculum and our school is on our neck. You must finish the curriculum today, or you must finish whatever you have for the course. You have to finish it up. I don't blame the school for doing that. And I don't blame you for trying to, cut corners, but I blame you for affecting the child's progress, because you're going to affect the child's progress when you skip the important processes, the important parts, the phases of the process of learning. You need to engage your children in games, in fun, different ways. To teach my child one sound, I can use 4 different methods. The one I said on the wall, right? I do that early in the mornings. So sometimes when my child is up, I don't even know that he has gotten up, because he has woken up and he's reading all by himself in the room. He's on the bed and he's smiling at the letters. He shouts letter A sounds A, 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 A. And you don't know that he's up yet until you hear, he's up, Paris is up. And then you try to go get him. You are building in that child love for learning. That's beautiful, and we need it in this country. All right, so I'll move on to what I have next. What do I have next? Being the one that adequate preparation aids high efficacy should energize the teacher to take some time to prepare ahead of the class. As a parent, you already know that phonics is going to take time to teach. So sometimes you can get, if your child is not up to using cardboards yet, your child cannot really handle cardboards yet. If somebody is around, maybe your brother, maybe your husband, maybe your wife, maybe someone around, please, can you help me cut that cardboards? While you're doing that, maybe you're doing something in the kitchen, or you're trying to feed your child. If you know that this is what you want to do, then it will come under your list of priorities, right? Like, please help me cut those cardboards. I want to use them today, so you know that you need marker to write on it and all that. Are we together? I don't want the class to be boring, because I don't want you to give me the flight response. Okay, like your child will give the flight response if the phonics class is boring. So please type what you feel, what you're okay. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Blessing. Thank you for your response. All right, we move on. Some children learn by seeing and hearing, others learn through music, and some others learn by taking part in activities. Now, I was avoiding using too much in these slides, but there is something that I want you to get. Please, if you have your notebook, get a plain sheet or a very strategic part, because this thing I want to say is very sheet. Please mute yourself. Mute the person already from here. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. All right. What I want to say now is key to teaching your child. There are different styles of teaching, different styles of learning. Yes. There are different learning styles, but there are 4 major learning styles. 4 major learning styles. Please write them down. The 4 major learning styles are, the first is audio-visual. Audio-visual. The child learns through what they see. If your child is an audio-visual learner, or let me say visual, if your child is a visual learner, your child always loves to watch videos. Any colorful thing on the screen or any colorful thing you show him, that's colorful. And most children are like that, aren't they? So most children are visual learners. Actually, to get the most from children, you need to combine the different styles of learning. Are we together? So whatever you want to teach them, you're going to get different styles of, oh, how do I want to teach that? Okay, I'll use the visual style for that. I'll use the kinesthetic type like that. So let me move on to the second. The first I said is visual learning. They learn through colorful displays, what they see. Okay, that's visual. Number 2, auditory. AUDITORY. Auditory learners. The auditory style of learning. The auditory learners. They learn through what they hear, through their ears, basically, right? So these learners are tilted to music, to songs. When I was much younger, I didn't know that I was an auditory learner, but I just know that when I used to have my biology in secondary school, I'll turn them to songs. I'll turn my biology notes into songs. When you give me a Greek science, I turn it into songs. Or I sit down, I read it, and I form my own song. Or I use the teacher's words to form songs. I still remember one. They're supplied with a well-developed transport system. They possess a large surface area to volume ratio to ensure the large quantities of gases. You see that? It's not the song, you know, right? But I used I used biology there. I think I was talking about the characteristics of the transport system in the body. Can you see how it has stuck to me from years back? Years back, and I still know it because I formed it into a song back then, and it's still with me. So imagine the dopamine that was released that day when I learned that song, you know, learned my notes in that song format. So parents, this is wisdom for you. If you have a child that is auditory, invest in the auditory for him. If he has a child, you know, you can even beat drum. Say, can you sing this? Can you sing your notes to these beats and all that? Something like that. All right. I hope we get that. Please, if you get that, type yes, yes, yes. Type yes, yes in the chat box. I move on. I said the first is visual. The second is auditory. Now, the third is kinesthetic. Kinesthetic learners. Kinesthetic means, you know, it has to do with the hands. They need to be engaged. Thank you very much for your yes. You're energizing me. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Kinesthetic learners, the hands, they want to be engaged. Now, if you teach a child that letter N sounds you have it on the wall, or you show him on a particular cardboard or something for visual learners, right? Or for the visual style of learning. If you can give a child something like this to hold, this is kinesthetic. The child can hold it and say, oh, this is letter N. Are you with me? This is letter N, and it sounds So when you're trying to, play with your children, you are holding it. This is kinesthetic. Most children, they want to be engaged. That's why a lot of children do crafts. We have different arts and crafts here and there to engage children. All right? They want to be engaged with what they are learning. So that is a major part of the learning process. So even if you engage them in the visual, you engage them in the auditory, you have to engage them in kinesthetic learning. If you have taught them something, ask, okay, what can I do to help them get kinesthetic with this topic? If you're teaching your child, now, if your 2-year-old is learning to write, it means that you are trying to teach them, don't start teaching them, write 1, write 2, write 3. That's not how to start teaching them how to write. You're supposed to start teaching them with slant line, straight line, curve, dash, dots. Because those are the things they're going to use to start to write, right? So at the beginning, you don't start teaching them write ABC. No. You teach them slant line, give me slant to the right, slant to the left, straight line. Straight line is just 1, right? Straight line, give me a dash, give me curve to the right, curve to the left. So later, when you're teaching write 2, you're saying a curve and a dash and all of that. I'm not teaching writing today, so I'll just move on. I just want to say that if you're teaching your child how to write the letter A or something, you have different kinesthetic activities to use. You have different kinesthetic activities that they can engage in. If you have of course, we all have trays. You can pour white powder on the tray and tell them to form letter A, form the letter B, or give me a curve, give me this, give me that. If you do these just simple things, you have a tray with powder, and then you say, okay, give me a curve and a dash. What do you have that? Oh, that's 2. Now give me curve to the right. That is letter C. What's the sound of letter C? You say letter C sounds. All right, your child starts giving you, and then you're drumming, you say, give me the sound. And then you go around the house. Let's look for something that starts with the sound. This is and then you hold up a cup, C-U-P, cup. Can you pronounce this is a cup? Letter C, sound, cup. Interesting. You are bringing up kinesthetic, and you are bringing up auditory. Do you understand? So I've said 3 different ways now, right? The first is, let me see who is following. Please type it in the chat box. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Let's go. Let's see who is following. Tell me what I have said so far. Just give me a summary. Give me one type of learner that you remember, that that we just talked about. Okay, I'm waiting for your answers in the chat box. All right, Mrs. Ayodeji said visual learning, auditory. Yes, visual. Thank you, auditory. Beautiful. I have an active audience. Yes. More? Do we have more coming in? Okay. Audio-visual learning, kinesthetic. Awesome. Thank you very much. All right, so we move on. We would move on. First, second, third. Now the 4th is the reading and the writing. I think most of us, that's what we do here in Nigeria. You just read and you write. Finish. It's good because sometimes there are some things that, you know, I would have to write down before I really know that I know that thing. You know, sometimes it happens to me when I want to study God's word. Okay, maybe I've studied something here, I've studied something there, I've watched a message, I've watched a video relating to that topic. But when I sit down and then I write down, then I know that, oh, I've actually captured what I have there. Actually, writing, putting your hand down to write is connected to the brain, is a learning strategy, you know, such that it makes an impact, like a landmark, like a stamp on what you have learned up there. Okay, so you transfer what you have learned. That now, another learning tip for you is whatever you put in, you need to find a way to bring it out. So if you are teaching your child, you're doing an input in your child, you need to look for a way for the child to bring it out as output. If you learn something, have you noticed that the thing sticks to you more when you have an opportunity to teach somebody? All right. So if you've been learning something, now try to teach someone. You would see how much you know, and then you go back to learn more about it. Are we together? I just went off there to talk about aha. Somebody said, I still sing the months of the year song to remember how many days we have in each month. Awesome. That's a mother talking there, right? So when she wants to remember, okay, this is August. 30 days. No, it's not it. What's the month of the year song now? What's the month of the year song now? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, and all of that. Okay. Awesome. All right. So, okay, we said through let me take that sentence again. While some children learn by seeing and hearing, others learn through music, that's auditory learners, right? And some learn by taking part in activities, that's kinesthetic. Okay, so you saw how just this short line brought about that types of learners can actually be a session on its own. So I broke it down and I've explained it because I said I don't want to keep you in the dark. I want to explain everything that I'm doing bit by bit. Okay, I want to also use this time to talk about this product. I told you about it earlier on, the foundational skill set for kids. Now, all that I've said, the different types of learners are going to enjoy this particular product. Why? It's visual. It's visual. It's very colorful. So it can affect the visual learners, right? Now, for the auditory learners, there's no sound here. So they would have to use it to form words and all that to sing along. But it's very kinesthetic. When you handle it, you know, there's a lot you can do with it. I'll show you pictures of how it is used. But this is the game board. Okay, we have a game board where the children can put up their letters to form words. We have different game ideas that you can use that the children can play on the game board. We have different games on the manual. The pack comes with an education manual, all right? And there's a lot to glean from it. This covers phonics. It covers letter identification, vowel identification. These are all different parts of the reading process. Okay, I'll talk about that even more. I thought to mention that now, and I'll come back again to it. All right, so that is a very good product that you would want to get for your children. It's at a discount now of 8. Right now, we're giving it out at 8,500 naira, but it's going to change soon because we're doing pre-order. So if you're here and you have not gotten a pack yet, you have to get one because you're still going to get one later and it's going to be more expensive. So now that it's very cheap, I think you could start making your orders for the pre-order. I'll still talk about it much later. I will move on now. I said through the use of flashcards and other teaching aids, I would get the children to see things in pictures. The visual learners are catered for. This is how to make your phonics class really robust. I've talked about using different things to teach your children. You can use cardboards to form so many things. Let me show you what I formed with my cardboard. Are you with me? Do you want to see it? Are you there? Let me show you what I formed with a cardboard. This is a wheel. Can you see this? Can you see this? This is a wheel. Ayomide, you can take a snapshot for me. Thank you. This is a learning or a reading wheel, like a cycle wheel, right? I cut 3 different colors of cardboard in a circular form, okay? So when I cut that, let me see if I can even disengage this. Okay, if I do that, I would have to, let me just explain this, right? So when I cut the circular parts of the cardboard, I just ruled circles. I would have to, let me use the board so you understand and see clearly what I mean. Sorry, I need to be as practical as possible so that you understand. Now, this is one circle, right? This is one circle. That's what I did for the first cardboard paper, okay? Then I ruled lines of symmetry across, like this. Can you see that? Can you see that? Let me take this off so that it doesn't affect my drawing. Can you see that? Please type yes, yes in the chat box if you can see it clearly. All right, please, let's keep the engagement high. This is what I did for the first cardboard. Can you see the first cardboard? This is letter J. This is letter H. This is letter G. This is F. This is D. This is C. So you can see that here we have just consonant sounds. Just consonants. So what I did now for this one was for consonants. Then I did another circle, a smaller circle. Can my screen get there? Okay, yes. And I did the same thing. I put up lines of symmetry as well. When I did that, I'll be fast about it so it doesn't take much of our time. When I put the lines of symmetry this time, it was for vowel sounds. So I put up vowel sounds like this is A, this is E, O, A, E, O. See that? So that's what I did for the second one here. So if you see the second one is green. You have U, you have A, you have E, you have I, and you have O, right? The next one was a much smaller circle, still a circular format, another color, pink this time. The first was white, the second was green, and the third is pink. Now this one is consonants. So you have consonant, vowel, consonant, right? Consonant, vowel, consonant. When I turn this, it gives me a consonant. This is Z, right? I turn this other one to give me just any sound. This is O. Then I have this is letter V sound. If you came in quite late, I'm sorry. We already did the sounds of all the letters. So if you need that, you have to reach out to me personally for that separate tutorial. Okay, let's move on. So this is Z, O. What do we have? Zov. Okay. Now you need to actually know that it's not every time a word has to make sense for your child to read it. The test that your child can read, right? The test that your child can read is that your child can make sense of nonsense words. I would explain that with a video. I have a video of my son doing that. I think, do you understand what I did? So when I did the three circles and I did lines of symmetry, I wrote consonants here, vowels here, and consonants. And then I put up a hole in the middle. I put up a lace. This is a shoelace that I cut here. I'm just trying to show you that you can use the materials you have at home to make phonics resources, okay? So when I did that, I have one video. I have one video that I use tissue rolls on YouTube for a class like this too. Maybe I'll send you up the link if you find it. I don't even think it was on phonics. I think it was for math. I was teaching my son math at that time. But I'm just trying to say you can use materials at home to teach phonics. And if you're a teacher, you can use materials like this too. You have a lot of colored paper and all that, right? So I'm just bringing this up to say that I made this. Even if you don't want to buy something, you can use cardboards. You can use the paper, the old books you have at home to create different things. Your child will actually consider this fun. When you say, oh, we have phonics today, we are going to learn to read, and this is what you bring out. Like, oh, mommy, I like this. What is this? Can I see it? Can you touch it? Ah. Or if your child was there when you were preparing it, when you were making it, ah, mommy, can I hold it? Ah, I'll hold it for you. I'll hold it for you. You're already, you know that first stage we talked about, the first, the pleasure zone, right? You're passing through that first filter to get the pleasure. So I'm coming back here now. I say, through the use of flashcards. Flashcards, when some people talk about flashcards, what comes to their mind is those beautifully designed cards. You can design your own flashcards. For those that have very young children, you don't have any reason not to have flashcards of letter A to Z in your house. Get card. I think that was one of the first things I said when we started. Get your cardboards, cut them really nicely. Some of you are really artistic. Do that. Invest that in your child's learning, right? Invest that skill, that your artistic, or if there's anybody around you that loves to draw, person should go to work and do something nice for your child, right? So get flashcards, cut it out and keep them. When it's time for class, your child will even be pulling you, reminding you, mommy, we have not done any reading today. Mommy, we have not done phonics. It's really beautiful. It's really cool when you know how to achieve what you want to achieve in your child. So when your classes are really fun, they're engaging, they're interactive, they are passing, they're touching through the 4 different types of learning, you're actually getting your child, and you can teach your child whatever you want to teach your child. So I would move on. I'm just trying to still explain that you would need to prepare for your phonics class. I said the class that you prepare for is the most effective class in phonics. I would skip all these, sorry. I'll skip them. I'll skip these ones. I'm looking at time. Let me go quickly. We put this up, earlier, and we said something like Chinese or Kung Fu. Can you read that? And the answer was obviously no, right? Can you read that? It's as frustrating as how your child feels when you force him to read. Now, you have not taught your child the right way, the sounds. You have not taught your child how to blend. The first stage is letter identification, that your child can say A, B, C, D. The next stage is phoneme. Phoneme means sound. Phoneme identification. That's to say the sounds of the letters. Letter A sounds A. Letter B sounds B. Letter C sounds K, right? So after that stage, the next stage you're going to move on to is blending. After you have made much phonemic awareness, much games, much all of that with those simple letter identification and sound identification, you move on to blending. What do we mean by blending? Getting your child to get one sound with another sound together to form a word. Okay, sometimes the word doesn't really have to make sense, okay, but it's just to get your child to form the word. So this is letter A sounds A. Letter M sounds A. A. It's very easy. Do this for your child a couple of minutes a day. Before you know it, your child can read 2-letter words. You don't have to get him to cram anything. I tell you, you don't need to get your child to start cramming. If you do this simple game, you can even, let's change this one now. This is A. Now they become friends. When one friend meets another one, they come together and they become friends. So what is this? When you put them together, what does this sound as? This is at. Because they are friends now, so you mention them together. What if it doesn't make sense? Let me get another combination that doesn't make sense. So this is B. There's no word like ab, right? There's no word like ab. But if your child can make the sound of this, then your child is not cramming. Your child is not cramming. If your child can read a nonsense, we call it nonsense word, right? If your child can read that conveniently, then your child is not cramming. This is B. Ab. If you go to our stories, we will put up some of those pictures. Some of the pictures we have already. We'll put them up, or some videos of children reading these sounds. We'll put them up in our stories, our Instagram handle, and Blossom in Etiquette and Manners in our stories, so you will see what we're talking about. Okay. We do not have enough time to do that right now, but let me go on with what I wanted to say here. I hope you're getting me. I hope you're following me. Are you following? Please give me the yes, 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 so we can move on. All right, let me know if you have any question. Let me know if you have, if I said something that you didn't really get, I will go back. Thank you very much, Mrs. Ella. I'll go back and I'll take it over again. You need to be consistent. Thank you. Thank you for the yes, yes, yes. Thank you for the yes, yes, yes. Awesome. Oh. Somebody wanted to join us, but she's just saying it will soon be over. You can get the replay. Okay. Consistency. Consistency is key. You don't teach your child for 5 minutes today. Tomorrow, you don't teach your child at all. Then in 4 days' time, you say, that's our phonics. Let's carry on again. Where did we stop? It doesn't matter if it's 15 minutes or 10 minutes. Can you put your heart to it and engage with it? If you engage your soul with it, if you bring your child, you're involved in it. You are laughing, you are playing. Letter B sounds B, B, B. Letter C sounds you are dancing, you are learning, you're having fun. No, you're not learning, you're teaching, okay? You're having fun in the class. Your child knows that, you're not just doing it and rushing off. Your child will learn better that way. It might be a short time, but it will be really key and important in investing in your child, all right? Now, don't skip days and expect him to learn. You got to be consistent. You have to be patient as well. The blending, they need to see you do it, right? They need to see you do it. If you ask them, now, there was a child that I was taking, not my child, one of the children that I was trying to help. because of that cramming mentality. If you bring oh, oh, she will tell you oh, she will tell you but as soon as they come together and she sees this one, you tell her to pronounce the word, you say net or some another word, just because the is here and the is connected with another word that she has crammed. If your child has not started cramming, don't get your child cramming. Get your child to go the phonics way, combining sounds to form words, blending the sounds, okay? Blending the sounds. That's a very good thing too, a very good foundation for learning, okay? Okay, I would move on to letter identification. This is the first stage. I said that this is the first stage of reading. And you can see how the foundational skill set for kids board does it so well. If you give your child this toolkit and you tell him or her to arrange the letters, your child is going to be having fun doing this. And sometimes you need some time to do something, all right? And you don't want to expose them to the TV too much. Your child can get kinesthetic doing this. Now I can use the word kinesthetic because I know you understand what I mean by now, all right? Can go ahead to do this. Sometimes my children spend so much time engaged with this. I know they are learning and I can use that little time to do one or two things that I have to do, different commitments here and there, right? Don't get your children exposed to the TV from morning till night. Remember, we're talking about the brain when we started. We spent a few minutes talking about the brain, the nerve connections and all that. When your child is exposed to too much screen, it affects the thinking, the mental capacity of your child. You know, some children do not that love for learning. If you don't bring it to them on the screen, then they don't want to learn it. It's not supposed to be like that. You need to win your child off the screen. I'm not saying you're not going to give your child the screen, but I'm saying that you need to cut it down. You need to minimize it. And when they get to watch it, you can control what comes into your child's system. How do I do that? How do I get to achieve that? I have videos that I've downloaded for my child, for my children. I have videos that I've downloaded for my children. So if I have like, okay, when my child was having issues with timetable, you know, I wanted him to learn the timetable and he wasn't really getting it. So I just went on YouTube and typed timetable for 5-year-olds. And we got some really, really lovely videos. And we started playing it. There was this particular video. If you want it, just send me a message, you know, after this, and I will send it to you right away. If your child is maybe about 5 or so, there's this particular video that we downloaded and the songs were wonderful. Even I was even loving the songs too, because they were well composed, nice music and all that, and it was really good. My son learned the timetable in no time. He even learned beyond the number that I wanted him to learn. And every day he would be asking me, Mommy, the timetable, can I watch the timetable? Can I watch the timetable? Because I was able to, you know, get that in a very exciting way. There are some things that you want to teach and you say, oh, okay. If you expose your children to the screen, what's your focus? What's your focus? You can't just leave them to watch, to stream throughout. That's not wise. So you have something you want to teach. I used YouTube a lot when I wanted to teach shapes. After teaching shapes at home, I went on YouTube and I looked for shapes for children in videos. Just type 3D shapes for children, 3D shapes for 5-year-olds or for 7-year-olds or something. When you get something like that, you get the video and then you put it on your TV, and that's what they keep watching until they know that thing you want them to learn. Then you move on to something else, right? So they have a collection of videos they watch per season, right? So combined with salty and other spiritual content and videos. Okay, I see that I have just 20 minutes. I was talking about letter identification. Sorry about that. So I move on to, no, I shouldn't apologize. I'm just trying to touch all that I can in this short time. Okay, I think this is a video I was trying to play. Let me see if it's going to come out well. And if it's not, I'll leave it for the next screen. Okay, let me get the next screen. Now this, can you look at the words on the screen, please? Look at this. What does it fall under? What I've said so far, what does it fall under? This falls under, okay, should I give anybody an opportunity? Is this, okay, there's a combination here, right? We have phonics, we have sight words, we have nonsense words as well. But a word like BE is not phonic sound, it's sight words. That one, your child needs to cram it. Your child needs to know it. I talked about videos. And I also said I was going to show you how my child was able to learn sight. I said my 2-year-old. Please, who is that? Okay, I'll mute you from here. Thank you. What was my line of thought now? So please check the screen. Check the screen. We have different combinations on this board. You can use the board for so many things. You have sight words here, you have the phonic sounds, and you have nonsense words. Nonsense words are words that do not really follow, they don't make meaning, but they follow phonics pattern. Like this word, C-A-T-H, is not a word. But if your child knows how to read, your child can say, ah, calf, me, right? Edge, veg, and all that. Okay, so those are nonsense words, and that's a stage that your child needs to pass through to know that when your child is even, when you're just trying to teach the combination of the sounds. Okay, somebody is asking, please. Okay, we have one question before that. Thank you for this insightful and practical session. I'm excited at all these tips. However, I have a concern. How do I achieve this training success if one has very demanding sessions? Very demanding sessions, like you're very demanding, maybe work schedule. Is that what you mean? I think that these days everybody is getting really, really busy. That's why I'm talking about all these options of teaching. Now, the focus is knowing what to teach per week, knowing what to concentrate on per week, right? If you have a goal, like, okay, you want your child to learn this sound and this sound. If you teach your child this sound today in the morning, tomorrow you revise that sound, you get a video related to that sound, you get a game related to that sound. Now you are busy with something else, but your child is going to be doing follow-up, laying emphasis on what you have taught earlier. Okay, am I answering your question? Please let me know. Someone else asked. Yes, yes, that's what I mean too. Knowing how to maximize the screen is going to be beneficial for you, but your child needs your presence as well. So if I want to teach a particular topic, a particular sound, per week, if I want to teach a particular sound per week, let's say letter S sounds, right? If I've taught him that, I've played with him on that, my child comes to me and I say, okay, can you use this the foundational skill set for a bit? Just arrange any word you can arrange and all that. Go around the house, anything that has, just show me or something, or show your brother, something like that. You know, we are all busy and we need to actually know what we want. When we have our minds focused on what we want to teach, is better. Somebody is asking the correct sequence. I can read 2 minutes to this question. Is it the correct sequence of teaching, which we have discussed before, maybe before you came in? Or is it the correct sequence of introducing the letters? If it's the sounds, if it's introducing the sounds. Now we have this, I think I'll join in with my phone so I can share something. The first set of sounds that you teach your children, that you're supposed to teach. I will join the meeting, but I wouldn't join with the audio so that there's no noise. Okay, now I can share. Oh, I can, but if I share on this screen, I'm going to lose my host capacity. So what do I do? I wanted to share. Okay, I'll just go ahead to show you from my screen over here. Please hold on. If you have any other question, please ask so that I just treat them together. We're running out of time already. We have just about 10 minutes left. Oh, so soon. Okay, sequence of the reading process from individual sounds to two-letter blend, three-letter blend side. Yes, exactly. You already gave us the sequence, and that's it. We said letter identification, phoneme, that's sound identification, then blending. You blend two letters, then two sounds. I'm saying two sounds because sometimes you have a sound that you have two letters having one sound, right? So letter identification, sound identification. Letter identification is A, B, C, D, E, F. Then you go to sound. You go to sound identification. The sound, letter A sounds A, letter B sounds B, and all that. Then you move on to blending. You blend two letters. When you are introducing your child to blending, there are different groups to introduce your child to first. The first set of letters, your child already knows A to Z, but now you want to teach blending. The first group is SATIPN. SATIPN. Call it SATIPN. So you have this particular set of letters has been chosen because the sequence of blending is easier and it lays a foundation for the other letters. Just like when you want to start writing, when you want your child to start writing, you don't force your child to start writing, and when the child cannot write B, you are forcing your child to write B. No. My child started writing letter T first, capital T, then capital H. He started writing those letters that have just straight lines or slants or something that were easier before he could get the curves that are Q and all that. So knowing what is at stake, knowing what we need to know, what we need to do per time, saves unnecessary stress and unnecessary pressure. So when they tell you your child is 2 and your child cannot write this and that yet, you tell them, no, you are giving your child what your child needs now. All right, there's no pressure here. There's no pressure here. Okay. Getting the child to read with my phone, it makes him drag at my phone. How do I address that? First of all, how old is your child? If your child is not up to 4 or 5, why are you introducing him to using your phone to read? We have a lot of things we're doing here. Now, the videos I'm talking about, if you have an infant of 1, your child is one year, you don't expose your child to too much screen in the first place. Now, even if you want to use the screen to teach your child, you don't get him to stay on it for too long. So you need to have strategies around that, saying that we have just 10 minutes for it. We have just this time and that time. Even sometimes I play, the TV is on for about 3 hours or 4 hours in my house, maybe towards the night time. But I have already selected what I want to put to the TV is not connected online, right? Everything that is there is what I want them to learn at this time. Are you with me? Is what I want them to learn now. They're not streaming from one Coco Melon to another Paw Patrol to this and to that. The music lessons I've downloaded on YouTube right there. So when you have started, when you watch a particular video on sounds, you are moving on to a music video. From there, you are moving on to maybe a drum lesson on the screen. Then you are moving to Salty or Donut Man or something. These are directed, selective learning. Are we together? I'm trying to talk about the use of the screen. Someone asked another question. Mrs. Ella asked the question. Let me get it. How do I introduce sight words? Do I have to wait to a particular age? Your child needs to have a basic foundation of phonics, the sounds. If your child can start blending first before you introduce sight words, the better. But in the school system, it's not like that. Most schools start teaching the children G-O, go, C-O, so what the B-E-B and all that. That is not the first thing first. The first thing is to get the phonics pattern right, to say ah, b, ed, bed. Are we together? So as parents, you need to know what is being taught in your child's school. If you're homeschooling, good. If you're not homeschooling, very good. What you need to do is to monitor and to, watch what you're doing. Know what your child is being taught in school, so that you can monitor, follow up, and put corrective measures from the house. If your child is already learning to cram in school and your child cannot learn to blend 2 letters first, then there might be a hitch somewhere. Are we together? As teachers, if you're a teacher here, don't get your children to be cramming words. It's wrong. When they've not learned phonics, the phonic sounds. Now my child is 2+. He knows many sight words. I taught him most of the sight words through videos. So there are some, you don't just pick any video. Check out the video, check out the content of the video. If the video is boring or something, you can leave it out. But there was a particular video I saw of, I have the video. I could send the link if you want, but there was a particular video I got that was really good, and I introduced it to him. But he already had, the phonics basics. So if your child already can blend, he knows, he can identify the letters, identify the sounds, can have that can get to blend, then you can introduce sight words. Introduce sight words, but don't force him to learn it. You can just keep playing it on the TV with the video that you have selected. Are we making sense? Please, yes, 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 or no, no, no in the chat box. Let me know. See, I want to play a particular video for you. I want to play a particular video. Let me stop my share. If I stop my share, it doesn't affect anything. Okay. All right, all right. Sorry, please hold on. We'll soon be off. I know that the time is almost spent, but it has been well spent, I should say. Right? Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes. Okay. Yes, yes. I need a video that I did with Dawn to show you what I mean by, yeah, it's on my phone. I transferred it to my laptop, but I don't know if I was able to download it properly. Okay, please give me a minute. Oh, I cannot minimize Zoom. Okay, sorry. When I'm recording. Okay, it's fine. I'll send it. I'll create a broadcast link with everybody that attended, and I'll send you videos. I promise to do that. Okay. I'll send you videos of the blending process that I did with a few children, and then my child blending nonsense words. He already knows what nonsense words are, and it asks me, is this word a real word or a nonsense word? And I tell him, okay, this is real, this is nonsense word. Sometimes he already knows, he doesn't even need to ask. But I wanted to say something now to help. Well, I'll send a video. I'll send a video on the broadcast list that I'll do that. And you need to another question. How to get a child to read at or before 2. That's the process. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. The earlier you introduce your child to sounds alone, focus on sounds, the science of sounds, how to blend. Focus on the letter and the sound first. Letter A sounds A, letter B sounds B. What we did at the beginning, I think you came late. Sorry about that. So we have gone past that stage. And if you have I think I have more questions. Running out of time, so I'm trying to answer everybody as much as I can. I would send a video. I have one more question here. Please hold on. Yes, thank you. I can see the yes. Interesting. Directed selective learning. Yes, Mrs. Dawn. Yes. Is it necessary? Okay, I've seen that. Right? Is it necessary to follow a sequence too for sight words like we would do for blending? Sequence for sight words. Now, let me explain this way. I saw different videos when I was looking out for videos for my children for sight words, for carries specifically. I saw different videos, but I went for the ones that were simple, a bit for his age, before I moved on to another one with more words. Okay, so there's no sequence per se, all right? But I shouldn't be teaching a child that has not learned the sight word like and or the. I shouldn't be bringing a word like following or consistency or something like that. Do you understand? So simple sight words around that. The particular video I'm talking about, 300 sight words. I'll get it. It's not my content. It's content I got from YouTube, but I can send the link so that you can get it as well. It's a very good one. Please ask me questions because we would need to wrap up. We still have a lot to cover. We still have so much that we have not covered yet, but we would need to wrap up. Please ask your questions. I talked about a video of Dawn with the nonsense words and real words. I'm going to send that. Okay, one new message. You use flash writes to show the child things on TV. That question, are you talking about flashcards? Flashcards are different. Flashcards are handy, not on the screen.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay, so you said that for me to reduce screen time, like giving him phone, that I use my TV. So I want to know, how do I get to the selective teaching, the things I've gone to YouTube to download? Yes. How do I get it projected on the TV? Especially for us that we use all these Go TV, all these pay TV things. So how do we do it so that we remove the child from actually? Then I need to understand, as a family, we already have Go TV that they use. So how do we prevent the child not to be attached to those things and be focused on the selective teachings? And now, as a family, we still need to watch it.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. You would not, since you have your priorities, right? You have your priorities. You know what you want to achieve in your child. You cannot leave the Go TV on for a very long time and expect that it will not affect your child. It will. And you cannot give him a separate device at his age to go and be using. Children are getting addicted to the screen these days, and it's not good. There's a particular woman that she's supposed to be here, she's not. Her child is 4. Her child cannot read, very simple, like just blend, just simple blending. He cannot, but he's always with the phone. He has a device to himself, 247. If he's going to church, he has a device to himself. When he's in church, he's using the device. He's 4. There's already a problem there. And when that child is 7 and he still cannot read, you're not going to tell me that you didn't have signs. You won't tell me that you didn't know that there was a problem before. They are children. You can control what they do. They are children. You can tell them, this is what I want you to do. You are the authority in the house. You can tell them, okay, this is what you should do at this time, but you need to look for interesting ways to engage them. You need to disengage yourself from the Go TV and use it when they are sleeping. Better. Because when they are awake, you can't stay glued to the screen. When they are awake, you need to engage with them. If you are going to be glued to the screen, it means that now, some people call it child abuse when you are watching your own content with your child. That when you are together, you need to watch his own content together and watch your own content when your child is not with you. So it might be, it might not be doable for some people, but for most people, when you know what you want, you know how to place your priorities right. You know how to schedule your time. And okay, there's a particular movie you want to see. You target when your child is sleeping or something, or when your child is well engaged. Because if you stay on Go TV for, say, 5 hours or 6 hours, your child is going to stay there too. And it's not going to benefit for that period of time. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes, flash drive. Yes, I think you were going to write flash drive, not flash write. Yes, I use flash drive to connect to the TV. I use flash drive. It's a deliberate decision not to connect the TV to Go TV or DSTV for now, while our children are still young. So we want to catch up with news. We use our phones. We use our laptops. Because especially the first 5 years of your child's life, they're very key, they're very foundational. You can't joke with that. Whatever you feed your child in that time, it affects the child for a long time coming. So you don't want to engage him with so much screen, and when your child is 6, you are trying to stop him, but you already gave him the foundation of screen when he was growing. Are we together?
Yeah.
Okay.
So can I quickly ask this question?
Can you
send
it to me? Just send it as a message so that I can already wrap up the questions. If you have somebody that was supposed to be here, Gloria, I'm waiting. Please type the question. Type the question, please. If you have somebody that was supposed to be here and the person couldn't make it, I'll make this recording available, but it's going to be at a token, at a fee, because it was free for, this first session was free and it was general, it was open to everyone. But if somebody wants to benefit from this again, I'm going to put a token to it, a very small token, just to show that, they really want it, they really appreciate it, not according to the value, because we have gotten so much value here that is more than 50,000 naira, but for now, I'm going to make the link available. Then for you, if you want to watch it again, well, do you need to watch it again? I'm sure you got all the notes that you wanted to. All right. Okay. So, Mrs. Gloria, I'm waiting for your question. I'll just run through my slides quickly to see if there was a particular thing I really wanted to share and not, there was a particular thing I really wanted to share. It's time up, I know, but I'm also conscious of time. I'm in a hurry as well. So let me just move downwards. That's my child playing with the foundational skill set for kids. You can see how engaged he is. I didn't even tell him to do if you look at what he's doing, it's animals, cow, pig, dog, bird, sheep. I didn't tell him to do that. I only gave him the toolkit to go and play with, and he came up with that. Another day, he was doing objects, different objects. This is not even part of the games that are on the educative manual that comes with the kids. So when you engage your children deliberately, purposefully, they would actually get engaged. They would be productive with what you have, with the path that you have laid for them. All right. The phonics teaching sequence. We might not be able to move into this. We have said a few things around this. We talked about phonemic awareness warm-up. Remember that? If you remember, say yes, yes. We did sound spelling. We talked about word work, right? We talked about blending. That was earlier on. This is supposed to be a more robust part of the teaching sequence. But okay, let me say, set learning goals for the week. What you want to learn for the week or what you want to learn for the month. And if you're interested in getting a more concise phonics curriculum to help you and your children, you will need to reach out specifically for that. Okay, this is explicit teaching session. And it also depends on what's the age of your child, all right? Games and fun spices for every phonics class. Every phonics class deserves some spices. And the spices we have come in games and fun activities. I've shown you what I did with the wheel. For those that came late, I spent some time explaining how I made this. And there are different things that you can actually make with cardboard paper, with tissue rolls, with colored paper, cardboards, and all that. All right, so I just want to run through so that we can wrap up the session already. Yes, yes, reading and reciting songs and nursery rhymes. We talked about this when we talked about phonemic awareness, right? Flashcards. You should always have flashcards for your different classes. Teaching aids. Okay. We've talked about phonics being visual. Okay. Now, when we say phonics being visual, some people go ahead to write letter A is for, no, they say A is for apple, B is for ball. That does not come before letter A sounds A. Are you with me? You don't teach a child D is for dog, E is for egg, F is for fish. And you have not taught the child the sound of the letter. Many people do it in the name of getting a child to learn, but knowing the right process helps. And if your child has already gone past that stage, please do more phonemic awareness of the sounds. Letter A sounds ah. Let your child know the sounds of the letters. If you do that, it will be easy to blend. And when you can blend, you can read. Even if your child doesn't know all the sight words yet, if that blending is in place, that's good. That's perfect. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, somebody is asking. Somebody is asking, please, how can I get the foundational skill set resource? It's available now at 8,500 Naira discount. I'll send you the details. The process is actually to go to our website, Blossom in Etiquette, and www.blossominietiquetteandmanners.com, and then get one. But for shortcuts, you can just reach out to me and I'll give you the details, and you can get on with the payment. Now, the product is on pre-order, meaning the physical product is not out for everyone yet. It's going to be available in October. That's why it's cheap now, all right? After the pre-order, the price moves up. Before, I was saying that it's going to move up to 10,000, but the way it's going now, it's going to be more than 10,000 Naira, because even the H5 right now, the dollar has affected it, but since we have been giving it at H5, was still there. Okay, Mr. Oladimo is asking, please, what's the recommended screen time per day for each child for selective learning? Oh, wow. For this one, I use my discretion. There's no different recommendation for selective learning and normal screen time. Okay, for screen generally, there's zero recommendation for infants from 0 to 2 years. Now, for me, that didn't work. That recommendation didn't work. Okay, I wasn't giving up till this month or last month. My child, the 2-year-old, that's Caris, he never held a phone to himself. He was always, anytime we want to do screen, is the TV. But there was this game, aha. Remember something I was trying to remember, I wanted to tell you. I wanted to tell you about some apps that are good for your child's reading. Okay, so I'll talk about that. But let me come back to this question. If I forget, please remind me. Just type it in the chat box. App. Okay. What was I saying now? Okay, recommendation. Yes, I said that's zero recommendation, meaning children below 2 should not get any screen time at all. It didn't work for me because I have already selected what I want them to learn, and I feel that, getting him to watch it on the screen at certain times when I am not available to engage him, was productive for me. So I emphasize on the selective learning on the screen. And when I see that they have stayed for maybe sometimes 2 hours at a stretch, we just pause it. Sometimes from the beginning of the day, like yesterday, from the beginning of the day till 6 p.m., the TV didn't come on at all. All right. And when it came on around that 6 p.m., we still put it off and then put it on again and put it off. All right. So I think that since we know that excessive screen time is not good, we know, okay, now it depends on the age of the child. If your child has watched something on the screen, play it again. If your child plays it again, put it off and tell him to go and write something from what he has watched. It happens. It happens. I find that very useful when I am attending to Dawn, the 5-year-old now. Okay, so if he has watched something, maybe a documentary from Nat Geo Wild on giraffe or something. He likes lions. He said he likes lions because they open their mouth wide in the morning. I didn't even know that. I was like, okay, is that true? Okay, so if he watches something on Nat Geo Wild on a particular animal, he has an encyclopedia here, very big encyclopedia that his father bought for him. And I think it's a good one if you would want to do that. Your children should have encyclopedias, dictionaries, Bible books, invest in good books for your children. Now, if he has watched that thing, we'll put the TV off and tell him to go and write a story or something he can remember from what he has watched, or we give him dictation from something that he has watched on the screen. Okay, am I communicating? Please tell me yes, if you're feeling me, right? Say yes. Have I answered your question, sir? Have I answered your question? I appreciate every single person. Yes, I appreciate every single person that has joined. Great men and women that joined this morning. Really, I'm appreciative of your time, of showing that you are really interested in your children and you're investing so much time in them. Now, I talked about the apps. There are different apps online. If you type phonics, Jolly Phonics, different apps will come up, okay? But there's a particular one that I like, and I will send you, I'll send you a picture of the app so that you can download it. I don't know if I can get the link. Maybe I can, I'll check. But like I said, I'm going to create a broadcast list of everybody that attended this session, and I'll give you more information as regards this. I don't want to create a group, another group again, okay, because I have a couple of groups on my hands. I don't want to take more than I can manage. That's why I'm opting for broadcast lists. So please try to engage when I send messages so that, yes, sir. Yes, I'll get back to you on the curriculum, the phonics curriculum. Okay, yes. All right, so the apps, the first one I've mentioned is Jolly Phonics. I'll send you the particular Jolly Phonics app I made. Then reading eggs, like, yes, egg, reading eggs is a particular app. It's paid for, right? It's paid for, but the first month is free. So if you can register, if you don't want to pay for the subscription, you can register for 1 month and check it out. If it's something you would love to continue, you can continue. But if you don't want to continue and you like it, you can unsubscribe, then subscribe with another email or something. You understand? But for that first month, the first month is free. Okay. There's another one that I used to use for my child, but I stopped it. It's called Adapted Minds. Adapted Minds. Adapted Minds is a very good app, but they were using monsters to teach the children. That didn't go well with me. They were using monsters. That, like, every child, if you are watching, you have a monster. So you have a pet monster. The pet monster takes you around, and it's a very, very educational, very good content. But because of that monster thing, I just left it, because the next day my child started telling me that that the monster was saying, that's, please, I'm going to delete that thing. All right. So they gave me, when I was trying to leave, when I was trying to unsubscribe, they asked me, why am I unsubscribing the message? I said that I don't know the reason I gave. They said they were going to give me extra 7 months. In as much as it was really good, I didn't want it because of that monster thing, right? I'm really particular about what goes into my child. I'm particular because whatever goes in is going to affect his whole life and it's going to affect what comes out. So if there's a monster somewhere, it's not even good, you know. They start seeing images here and there in the night, not knowing that something that you were thinking was going to be good for him turned out bad. So I didn't want to go that route at all. I just left that all the same. Okay. Okay. Now the apps I'm talking about, they are for older children. So for reading aids, we have different age groups. There are some apps that when you use, they'll tell you, okay, that's one that I said was really good. Education, Adapted Minds. I said it was really good, but the monster thing kicked me out. When I think it was 45 minutes, and then they tell you, okay, child, your screen time is over. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow. They don't allow the child to watch it again. Okay? They've already set it such that after that 45 minutes, your child cannot continue using it. That's a sensitive, a sensitive platform, knowing that, oh, screen time is good, but too much of it is not good. So they advise you, go around, look at the trees outside, get your hands moving, get your hands working, and all of that. Some things that they have learned from the screen, they're supposed to take it out to explore. If they've read some books, they're supposed to spell out the words and do dictation and all that. But that's in response to that. Now we've talked about this, so I'm not going to spend much time on it. I shouldn't go beyond 5 minutes now. Okay, so let me just go back to the beginning of the slides so I don't talk too much. So I remember I said I was going to send you the video of the blending videos. I'm going to send you the nonsense words video that Dawn did. Okay, I think I should just talk about these approaches for teaching phonics. The first one, teaching individual sounds and letters. We've done that. We've been talking about it since, right? The second is teaching rhymes. Rhymes, not the RHYMES now, but they are related, so to say. Now, if you have BIT, the bits. Now, it's not beats. I remember one thing I said I was going to teach you here is the right pronunciation of words. If you as a parent or as a teacher, you have the right pronunciation, you are giving your child a very good foundation to pronounce words right. But if you THE, you say this is my brother, you know, you're not helping the child. But knowing that the TH, the tongue is supposed to come in between your teeth. So you say you say teeth, you say this, you say brother, mother, thanksgiving, thank. Anytime you have a TH, you have your tongue in between your teeth. It's either voiceless or voiced. All right. If you follow my page on TikTok, Salome Buari on TikTok, you will get some of these videos as I'm pushing out content on pronunciation panacea, some pronunciation words, videos that I'm doing on Instagram too. If you do not follow us yet, at Blossom in Etiquette and Manners, please follow us so that you can gain from all the videos that are going up. Please, what platform will you send the links to the videos? Yes, it's WhatsApp. I said I'll send it via a broadcast list on WhatsApp. Okay. Please, the third approach is reading books, playing games, and performing activities. We have said a lot about that, and there are so much more, many activities to explore in the teaching of phonics. Please, do we have questions? Do we have contributions? I'd like 3 or 4 people to say something that has benefited them as we round up. Please, who wants to give a word or two as we say goodbye? You're going to maybe unmute yourself or take your video, bring your video on so we can see your face, and then just tell us how the session has been for you. Who is going first? Who is going first? Yes, please. Thank you, Mrs. Ella. Thank you. Yes. I'll get back to you on that. All right. Thank you for coming. You can leave now. Thank you. We're almost done. I just want to hear from you, 2 or 3 people. How's the session been for you?
I think I can go first.
Okay, please.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, even though I joined late, I'm so sorry about that. The session has been actually very wonderful for me, especially the sight words aspects, clarifying that it's not about how much, but going like a bit by bit, especially the one that is possibly age appropriate.
Yes.
Like the way you differentiated the sight words, that's a thumbs up for me for that. And also the screen time, like it should be deliberate. I think
Yes.
not just screen time generally, but there should be a focus, like, and then the sequence of the child learning a particular concept, and then being deliberate that the screen, what the child is watching is relating to that. And then even after the screen time, you get feedback from the child through dictation, writing short sentences about what he has watched. I think that one is a very good one for me to help me to know if the child is actually learning and how well the child can recall, how like the brain develop. I think that one has to do, it will help the brain development, being able to remember things.
Yes.
I think that's a very good way to prepare the child and the ability to remember things. So for me, those ones are actually the high point for me, and then the sequence of the phonics. So thank you. Let me not do all the talking. Let me allow another person to talk. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And thumbs up for you. Well done. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for that feedback. Thank you so much. Any other person, please? We're wrapping up. Any other person? Maybe just one more. Okay, somebody typed her. So thank you very much, ma'am. I've learned that the identification of letters should not come first. Rather, the sounds should come first. Also, the need to have less screen time for the first 5 years is also a new thing that I've learned today. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much for this feedback. Thank you for the feedback. I really love the feedback. Thank you. So we would be wrapping up since there's no other if
There will always be. Okay, so I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your commitment to learning, to teaching our children. Thank you for all you do. I really appreciate. So I didn't come in on time, but really from what the other parents have said, I learned from it. Now you said something about you can't teach a child when you are not learning yourself. So for some of us, like myself, I had issue with the THE. You pronouncing it again now is helping me. So I see the need to recite. Though it looking like much work, having to have what to teach the child every week. It's looking like much work, but I still see it as interesting work. If your child is actually picking up and doing it, you enjoy the process. So thank you so much. I look forward to the I just hope that we continue like this, and I hope that God blossom what you're doing and give you more money
Amen.
for in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Okay, so we would wrap up the session. We would wrap up the session. Our Father, we are grateful for this moment. We
Thank
say
you.
thank you for a successful and productive time. I'm so grateful for inspiration and direction. Thank you. Every seed that has been sown today is going to go with, it has gone with power and it's going to come back with fruit, much fruit, abundant fruit. I pray for strength for parents. I pray for zeal for parents to get their children to know what is right and do what is right in sounds, in virtues, in morals, in everything that pertains to them. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen.
Amen.
So thank you very much for coming. Thank you so much for
much.
attending the session. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Bye. Thank you. You're welcome, Mrs. Blessing. You're most welcome. Thank you, Mrs. Dawn. Thank you. Great delivery. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, ma'am.